Moving on to some tennis right here on Plus Sports. British number one Cameron Norrie has reached the semi-finals of the Auckland Open in Australia. In New Zealand, I beg your pardon, beating qualifier Marcos Giron 6-1, 6-7, 6-2 between the rain showers on Thursday. After a second round win on Wednesday was completed indoors with no fans because of the weather, Norrie finally got his chance to play in front of a supportive crowd in the city where he was raised. The world number 12 will play Jensen Brooksby for a place in final after the American defeated Francis Quentin Halys in straight sets 7-6, 7-6. In the other results, veteran Richard Gasquet turned back the clock to produce some stunning backhands in a come from behind 1-6, 6-1, 6-1 win against David Goffin. The 36-year-old will face compatriot Constant Lestijn in the other semi-final after Lestijn recovered to beat Serbia's Laszlo Djere 2-6, 7-6, 7-5. Still sticking with tennis, Novak Djokovic was given a thunderous reception on his return to the Rodlava Arena today for a charity match against Nick Kyrgios. The Serbian missed last year's Australian Open after arriving in the country unvaccinated. The 9-time Melbourne champion was deported amidst a backlash from angry Australians who had endured some of the world's toughest lockdowns as COVID-19 infections surged. Any fears Djokovic may have had about how the crowd would greet him were instantly forgotten as they cheered him as he walked into the arena for the match in aid of the Australian Tennis Foundation. The match against Australian Nick Kyrgios was a light-hearted affair. Djokovic even entertaining the crowd with some dance steps ahead of the real action, which of course starts in Melbourne on Monday. Both men play their opening matches on Tuesday though. Djokovic will be against Roberto Caballes Baena of Spain, while Nick Kyrgios will take on Russian Roman Safolin. Djokovic was speaking before, even before this friendly with Nick Kyrgios when he came to Australia. Of course, he played in the first installments of the Adelaide Open, also in Australia, and he was optimistic about how the Australian crowd were going to welcome him back. A lot of Australians were extremely angry last year when he was given a visa to come into the country to play the Australian Open, even though he had refused to take the COVID-19 vaccine. Let's not forget that Australia, with the COVID-19 lockdowns, had it really, really bad. One of the worst in the world in terms of the lockdowns. It lasted a long time. It was extremely strict. When, plenty parts of the world were already coming out of lockdown, Australia was going into more stages of lockdown, so they were really harsh on Novak Djokovic. He had already entered Australia, in fact, but was at the embassy, and then after the whole back and forth, had to be deported out of the country. So he wasn't sure about how Australians were going to take him back, coming into the country this year. The rules have now been relaxed since November, and he's allowed to come into the country unvaccinated. But I mean, with what we've seen today in that at the Rodlava Arena, when he went on to play Nick Kyrgios, it's clear that the fans are going to be backing him for another title at Melbourne in this year's Australian Open, which starts on Monday.